Hey there, gang. Welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa, and this is my workshop. Now, most of the time I have admitted to you that I just kind of flip the camera on and I wing it, fly by the seat of my pants with very little preparation. You know what? I did some preparation for this video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, because I promised you, I think in the last video, or maybe it was 2 videos ago, I can't remember. But I promised you that I was going to show you how 2K clear reacts with acrylic. Now, the reason I chose acrylic in particular is because a lot of acrylic paints like Vallejo, for example, and Createx, they're very fussy with regard to what you use with them. They really like to have, I got a frog in my throat here. Excuse me. How's that? Better? Okay. They're very fussy with regard to what you use. They generally like to use their own products. So, for example, Vallejo wants you to use Vallejo products. Createx wants you to use Createx products. And if you kind of stray and use other things, the paint doesn't really like it. So that's why I'm specifically going to use the 2K on different acrylics. By the way, this is, hang on one second, this is 2K right here, I think, with Vallejo. Yes, this is Vallejo, all right? And this is shot with Ammo by MIG 2K. And that came out pretty nice. Okay, got a nice shine, but more importantly, it didn't ruin the paint. So I really, I got to tell you, I really didn't know how the paint was going to react until I actually did this test myself. Yeah, that came out really nice. That's Vallejo with the Ammo by MIG. Here we go, 2K clear. All right. So that's what we're going to do. You can see I've got a rainbow of colors back here. I had a busy day down here yesterday painting all of these spoons with different acrylic paints. And I am going to shoot that and see how it reacts with the Ammo by MIG 2K Clear. Now, before we go any further, okay, and here's my mixture right here. I mixed it all up ahead of time, okay? Like I said, I actually prepared today. A lot of times you'll read the directions and so forth. It'll tell you to mix, 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 or whatever have you. Now, in this case, with the Ammo by MIG 2K Clear, your mixture is going to be 2 parts 2K clear, right? And then 1 part of their hardener. So 2 to 1, all right? Pretty simple. The thing that comes a little bit of a gray area sometimes is the instructions will sometimes say something like add 10% by volume of the thinner, okay? All right. What that means is, if you've got a 2 to 1 mixture like I've got right here, all right? Now, in this particular instance, I mix this to 4 milliliters of the 2K clear, all right? So if you're going to go 2 to 1, that means it's half of that. So I've got 2 milliliters of the hardener in here, all right? That's pretty straightforward and simple. But when it says by volume, that means you've got to put in, if it's recommending, 10% by volume, your volume here is 6%. I'm sorry, 6 milliliters. 6 milliliters, all right? Because we went 4 2K and 2 hardener. So that's a total of 6 milliliters. So you want to go 10% of that. That's the volume, all right? How the heck do you figure out 10% of that? Because if you're measuring out with a pipette, all right, it's not going to give you that kind of information on a pipette. So this is what I do. All right. Now, maybe some of you out there have a better way to figure this. I'm just going to tell you how I do it. So if I went with 6 milliliters total, all right, well, then half of that would be 3 milliliters, right? Half of that would be 3 milliliters. That means 50%. All right. If you cut that in half, all right, and you go down to 1.5 milliliters, okay, now you're down to 25%. I mean, yeah, 25%, yes. If you cut that in half again, all right, you are down to about a little less than 1 milliliter, okay? A little bit less than that. And that brings you down to 12%. So if you're going for about 10%, all right, and this brings you down to 12%, it's pretty much in the neighborhood. If you really want to be exact about it, I guess you could squeeze out a drop or two to try to estimate getting it down to that 10%. But for me, that would be close enough, and that's how I would approximate it. Okay, so this is your pipette, and I actually marked it off. Okay, and that would be down here in red. That's about where you would be for. Can you see that? Okay, for your thinner. Okay, now I'm going to tell you something else, and I've mentioned this too. I've mentioned about, making sure that you read the label instructions for your individual product. It didn't really say a whole lot about the mixture. Okay, I'm talking about the ammo by MIG mixing ratio. It didn't say a whole lot on the label, so I went to the website and I took a look. Now, ammo by MIG, they don't really specify too much in terms of how much by volume to mix the thinner or whatnot. They do tell you straight out to go with 2 to 1, all right, 2K to hardener. But what they tell you with regard to adding the thinner is they tell you to just add some. Okay, that's what they tell you. So I kind of went with a similar amount that I used for the hardener, okay, 2 to 1. And the thing that I discovered, and I didn't know this, the thing that gives you the gloss or the shine when you do this, it's the thinner. I didn't know that, at least in the case of ammo by MIG. Now, I can't speak for all other 2K clears because I didn't do the research on every 2K clear, but in the case of the ammo by MIG, yeah, they're saying that the thinner is the thing that gives you the gloss shine. And then it says, on their instructions to just add some to the desired amount that you want, depending on the shine that you want. So I learned something there, and I'm just, passing that along to you. Okay. So I'm going to get to work on shooting these spoons. I'm not going to make you watch me gloss or 2K clear every single one of them because that's going to get a little monotonous. So I will get to work on this and I'll show you the results. Okay, so hang on. Okay, I just wanted to jump back on here for 1 second before I get started because I just want to remind you, a lot of these acrylics, okay, when you spray them, they come out flat. All right, this one's got a little bit of a shine to it. That's the Tamiya hybrid acrylic. And I don't know if you remember me mentioning, but the Tamiya hybrids are a solvent acrylic and it will give you a bit of a shine. But if it's a water-based acrylic like Createx, okay, it's going to come out flat. And that's the thing we want to see. We want to see, does this flat become a gloss finish with the 2K clear? This is Mission, okay, Mission model paints, all right? And again, flat finish, okay? This is black. This is over the black, gloss black, and this is over a white primered spoon. Black and white, all right? So we're going to see if we can get a nice gloss in there. By the way, I've got a couple of candy colors, all right? These are Tamiya clear or candy colors, and these are over silver spoons. When you're painting candy, you want to paint your clear color over a metallic. The most common metallic is silver. You can go over gold or a bronze or copper color, and the silver is the most common. Like I said, this is, hang on a second. let me put this down. I'll tell you exactly what this is. This is Tamiya X24 Clear Yellow, okay? And this is Tamiya X27 Clear Red, all right? And these are candies. When it's clear, it's a candy. Hang on one second. I know I'm getting my big head in the way here, but yeah, there you go. There's your Tamiya Clear right there, okay? And this is the yellow, all right? So you want to go with a clear color, all right, over a silver base, or you can do it over gold or copper, like I mentioned. Oh, by the way, hey, Aunt Janet, my Aunt Janet sent me a message. I guess she was watching a video, and she was asking about how do I keep these glasses attached to the string without them constantly falling off. You know what I did? And I sent Aunt Janet a message about this. And what I used, I'm looking for the pin vise now. Oh, here it is. Okay. What I used was my pin vise. I started a very small hole, and I drilled a hole. I don't know if you can see that. I drilled a hole in the glasses. See, right there. And this thing here is actually a key ring. So I took the key ring and I threaded it into the hole that I made, and then I took the string. This is just a typical string you can get for glasses, and I threaded the string onto the key ring and just put the whole thing together. So Aunt Janet, that's how I did that. Started with a very small bit to make a little notch, and then I went in with my power pin vise and made a little bit of a larger hole, and then put it all together. So Aunt Janet, that's how I did it. Okay. All right, so let's get back to our 2K clear, okay? And I know I said I'm not going to make you watch me do this, and I'm not. I'm just going to do one. This is the Createx, as I mentioned. It is, what is this? It is fluorescent raspberry. It's actually a pretty nice color. I really hope this comes out. This one is a Tamiya metallic blue. That's this one. All right. And I got to be honest with you. I did that because I have had this sitting on my bench for the longest time, and I've been really curious what this color looks like. So I decided to test it. So that's the metallic blue by Tamiya. Again, that's a hybrid. And this is the Createx color. All right. That's the fluorescent raspberry, all right? So that's what I'm going to start with right here. I'll shoot just these two for you, and then I'll pause the camera and get the rest, okay? And by the way, I do have these two that I'm going, nope, that's Turbo Dork. I do have these two that I want to test with the 2K. These are Pro Scale. These are lacquers. But I'm just curious about how these will come out with the MiG or the Ammo by MiG 2K because they recommend using their own 2K clear, which I have done, and it came out nice. I'm just curious how it reacts with a different 2K clear. So I'm going to do this one too, all right? All right, let me finally get down to doing this. I don't know if you can see from that distance. You know what? Let me move this camera in. Let me move the camera. Hang on. All right, can you see this okay? Is that a little bit better? All right, good. So let's start with this Createx. By the way, I'm at 14 PSI, and I'm using a Picasso airbrush with a trigger handle, okay? And there's a 0.5 needle in here. I always like to do my 2K clear with a 0.5 needle. So let's see how we do with this. All right. And I know that you heard me say this before, light mist coats. Now in the Pro Scale 2K clear, they say to really put it on kind of heavy. But in this case with the Pro Scale, I'm sorry, the Ammo by MiG 2K, I'm going with light mist coats. All right, so I've got that. I don't know if you can see. I got a little gloss going on there. Let's try it on the Tamiya. right. You see that okay? And I've always said multiple times, test. Don't go right to your build. Test before you do things. And these spoons are a great way to do that. Now let's go back over to the Createx. The Createx, that's what I'm trying to say. Createx Fluorescent Raspberry. I really like that color. All right. Let's go back to the Tamiya. All right. Now at this point, okay, it actually looks like the Createx has got a little bit of a nicer shine on it than the Tamiya. But we will see how this looks after it dries. Okay, so I'm going to set this down, and we're going to go right over here to my right, to the dehydrator. Okay, and we're going to put this in the dehydrator. All right, there we go, and we'll get that started. I'm also going to, I got this separated. This is Chromacolor, which is an acrylic. All right, and this is, what is this? What have we got here? Absolute Blue Transparent. All right, so this doesn't really look like a transparent or a candy color to me. It looks kind of opaque, but we're going to shoot this with the 2K clear. All right, I said I was going to only do those two, but I'm standing here holding it. So I'm going to do this real quick, and then I'm going to pause the camera, okay? So here we go with the Chroma Air. Now I have used the 2K clear, or this 2K clear, on Chroma Air in the past, and it came out rather nice. I didn't use it on a transparent color though. All right, got kind of a nice shine going there. All right, light mist coats. If you've been watching my other videos, you're probably sick of hearing me say that. But that'll just reinforce it in your mind to do that. All right, that looks pretty nice. So I'm going to put that right in the dehydrator also. Excuse my arm while I put that in there. Okay, and the rest of these spoons I am going to do off camera, because I'm basically going to repeat what you just saw me do. Can't get my tongue to work today. And I don't want to bore you showing you the same thing over and over and over again. So I will get back to you in just a bit. Okay, gang, we did all of the spoons. Everything is in the dehydrator. Okay, can you see? Everything's in there drying. All right, and I even had a little 2K left, so I did some additional spoons that I really wasn't planning on doing. So I will show these to you in the results when this is all done. Okay, and there we go. In fact, I'll tell you what, let me even put those right in, so I can put these in the dehydrator right now. Excuse my arm. We'll get those right in there. Like I said, I had a little bit left over, so I thought I would just shoot the 2K clear on there. Now, here's the thing I want to show you. Let's come back over here to the paint booth, all right? As I mentioned, I'm using a Picasso airbrush with a 0.5 needle. The thing I want to show you is when you're using 2K clear, any 2K clear, all right, clean your airbrush out immediately. It will gum up your airbrush for sure if you don't, all right? And the thing that I'm going to use is acetone, all right? Acetone, it's a little bit nasty, so I'm wearing my gloves, okay? And actually, if you want to know the reality, you should wear a respirator when you're using this. You should actually use a respirator for most of the time when you're at your paint booth. Grab a pipette here. I'm not wearing a respirator because if I do, I'm going to sound like I'm in scuba gear. So anyway, I'm going to take my pipette, all right, and I'm going to get some acetone and right into the cup. All right, that's acetone in there. And I'm going to get my paint pot and I'm going to run this right through and clean out that 2K clear immediately. Now I have a number of airbrushes. Let me just turn this and let me see if I can show you this. Hang on. I have a number of airbrushes. Can you see all of this? Okay. And I've got airbrushes back here too. Okay, so I've got quite a number of airbrushes. Okay. When it comes to doing 2K clear, I dedicate this airbrush to 2K clear. And the reason I do that is because this Bucasso is a relatively inexpensive airbrush. It's $45. And if I run into a worst case scenario where I just can't get this thing to function properly because of the 2K clear, it's cheap enough to replace. That's just me. I certainly don't want to run 2K clear through a Grex. And this airbrush is over $200. So that's why I elect to go with the Bucasso as my dedicated airbrush for 2K clear. And speaking of inexpensive airbrushes, this is a Gallery. All right. Gallery GHAD39, right? And this airbrush, all right, it's got the traditional trigger up on top. And this airbrush, it atomizes very, very nicely, shoots well, it cleans up nice. This is a beautiful airbrush. $39, okay? And actually, standing here today on May, I think today is May 17th. Yeah, it's $39, but about a month ago, it was on sale. I think you were able to get this for as low as $29 on Amazon. I think the sale is over, though. I checked this morning because I knew I was going to show you this airbrush. And as of right now, it's $39, and still, that's not bad. And I've used this airbrush, and it works beautifully. So a lot of times I'll have people who will post messages, what's a really reliable airbrush that's not too expensive? There you go. Gallery, GHAD39 on Amazon. I think that this is a great deal, and it's a very reliable airbrush. Why did I choose this to use for my 2K clear if the Gallery is less expensive? Well, I just simply like this trigger. It's more comfortable for me. So that's why I did that. Okay, so I ran 2 cups of acetone through here. I'm going to put a little bit more in here, maybe about 1/4 cup of the acetone. All right, can you see that okay? And I'm going to put my finger over the front, and I'm going to backwash it. All right, can you see that percolating? And then I'm going to dump this, okay? And I'm going to put a little bit more in here again. All right, and I'm going to shoot that to make sure it's flowing. And because I'm all done now, I'm going to increase this pressure up to 22 psi. And kind of blast that acetone through. And can you see that okay? It seems to be running very well without any sputtering or any issues. All right. So we cleaned this airbrush out right away. We cleaned it out very well. We're good to go. All right. And I will put that back in its holster. All right. So we're going to go another 13 minutes according to the dehydrator on those spoons. So what I will do is I will pause this and let those 13 minutes go by. Okay, gang, we're down to the last 2 minutes in the dehydrator. to pull out all of those spoons with our 2K clear on it. So I'm going to take the 2 minutes that we've got, and I'm going to show you a Hummer that I just got. This is a Revel Hummer, and it is in 1/25th scale. All right, can you see that? And this is actually for a friend of mine. Her name is Casey. And Casey, I know from my Mets group. And I'm going to show you. There you go. And this is a picture of Casey and her son. Get that glare out of there. At Citi Field for a Mets game. And this is actually in the main atrium when you first go into the stadium. And Casey sent me a message asking if I could build this for her in the orange and blue and the Mets decals and so forth. So I told her, I'll look into trying to find that for her. Well, I wasn't able to find a Hyundai. That's what that SUV was. It was a Hyundai. But this Hummer, it looks very, very close to it. This was the closest thing I could find. So, Casey, I got you this Hummer, and I will do this in the New York Mets orange and blue. Now, the other thing that I said to Casey was I really wasn't too sure if I would be able to find water slide decals for a model like she had in that photograph. Well, you know what? Hang on. Take a look at this. Nope, not that. Where is it? There you go. I found Mets decals. Now, I searched everywhere on the planet, including a couple of other planets out there, to try to find these, all right? And you know what these are? Okay? I'm going to tell you. You're never going to guess where I got these. I could not find them anywhere. Looking up in, model aftermarket places or decals for scale models. I found these in ladies' nail art. Okay, I guess ladies go in and have their nails done, and they get these put on their nails. So that's where I found this. This is for ladies' nails, and it says that it is water slide. So I hope it works. It should go on to the model. My understanding is ladies' nail polish is acrylic and enamel. I don't know if it's lacquer or not, but anyway, if it goes on acrylic and enamel nails, I would imagine it should go on acrylic or enamel on a plastic model. So anyway, Casey, there you go. I will get to this in time. I've got 2 more projects ahead of you. I am still working on my 32 Chevy. All right, this is for Grandpa Mark's group build. So still working on this. And as a matter of fact, let me show you. And I don't know if you heard that little alarm go off behind me a minute ago. That means the dehydrator is all done. So we will be able to look at the results of the 2K Clear together firsthand. Anyway, this is the 32 Chevy. And the thing I want to show you is this. Okay, you see this right? Let me get this over here in such a way that I'm not going to break it. There you go. See that? That's a leaf spring. Okay. And guess what? You're supposed to have 2 of them. I only got 1. And that presents a real problem because one of the things that's really important in any build is the stature of your build. And what I mean by that is you want all 4 wheels, okay, to sit squarely on the table. You don't want a situation where you have 3 wheels and then 1 wheel is hanging, up a little bit. All right. So without that leaf spring, that really presented a problem in terms of stature. So I'll tell you what I did. I got one of these. This is evergreen polystyrene. Okay, you can get these at Hobby Lobby or Amazon or whatnot. And this is a 0.60 by 0.60, right there. That's what I use. See, there's the, Can you get an idea of how thick that is? All right, when I turn it that way. And I measured hold on while I get comfortable in this chair. I measured the leaf spring and I cut that. And then I painted it with Tamiya light gunmetal, right? So it would match the rest of this underneath here and the other leaf spring. All right, there's the one that I made. All right, so I made that, I installed it, and it was really pretty close. It was pretty close, but it wasn't exact. This wheel was hanging up just a tiny fraction, all right? And I really wasn't happy with that. So I have mentioned this before. Excuse my arm, I've got to reach. I have mentioned this before. I keep tons of these toothpicks at both my workbenches, here at the paint bench and over at the assembly bench over there, okay? These things are just great. I use them for a lot of things. I have cut these and used them to make braces and bridges. And in this case, what I did is I used it as a shim. And if you look at this, you see how it tapers down to a point? Okay, and you can literally use this as a shim, and that's what I did. I painted this the same light gunmetal color, and I kind of shoved it up in here. I don't know if you can see that right there, okay? And I pushed it back to the point where it went up this tapered edge here until it got to a point where all four wheels were square. So that was just my little trick, and it seems to have worked. I have used these toothpicks for a number of things where I needed to cheat and get things, properly or lined up or bridge something or brace something. I love those toothpicks. They're great. So anyway, this is, Grandpa Mark's 32 Chevy. In fact, I think I even mentioned it to Grandpa Mark in a message on his Facebook page or somewhere. I don't remember where. A couple of days ago, and and Grandpa Mark said, "Yeah, that really stinks." It really did stink, but I think I've got it kind of in hand. I think. Okay. By the way, I want to send a shout out to my good friend, Kenny Kimbrough. Kenny, I think you're doing great, brother. And I know you told me that you were going to send me a picture. I think you said it was a 68 Chevelle. I hope I'm not screwing that up. Maybe it was a 68 Camaro. I know you said that you needed your granddaughter to help figure out how to send the picture. So get your granddaughter to send me a picture. I'm anxious to see that. But Kenny, you're doing a great job. Okay, let's see what else here. Let's go over to the dehydrator. Let's see what we've got over there. Hang on. All right, dehydrator is all done. It says end. So let's see what we have got here. These are the extra spoons that I threw in there. And I'll tell you what, let's take all of this out and let's go back to the bench and we'll look at everything there. Okay, so hang on. Okay, we're back over here at the paint bench, and I'm going to go over all of the results here. I'm going to try to move this along because this video is actually running much longer than I had wanted it to. So I'll tell you what, let's start right here. This is the Mission Models paint, all right? And I don't know if you can recall, but when I showed you the spoon, this was really a flat finish. So here is the Mission Models paint with the 2K clear. Okay, remember we're using Ammo by MIG 2K clear, and I showed you the mixture. Okay, and that's on a white spoon. Here's the same color on a black spoon. All right, a little bit deeper, but a nice shine. Okay, this is the candy color. All right, from Tamiya. All right, this is the clear red, and we also did clear yellow. All right, that's this one right here. All right. Nice shine on both. This is candy, all right? And this started out with a silver base. I used Tamiya mica silver as the base color before I shot my actual candy color, okay? So that came out real nice. This is the X13 metallic blue, all right? And I have 3 examples of that. This is, let me see, is this on white? Here's the white one. All right. This is on white. Okay, 2K clear. All right. And this is on a black surface. This is gloss black. All right. And we have a silver base. This is on silver. All right. And all three of these really look kind of similar, actually. You see that? Not a great deal of difference. Now, on camera, all right, it looks almost identical. There is a very subtle difference between them. But of the three, I actually think I like the one on the white base the best. So anyway, let's move on. This is the Createx Fluorescent Raspberry, right? And these are our three spoons, okay? This is the black base. This is the silver base. Get that out of the way. This is the silver base, right? And this is the white base. Now, I was particularly curious about seeing how the 2K would work on the Createx, because Createx is one of those paints where, you know, it's a little bit cranky. It likes to use its own products, and I didn't know if this would wrinkle up or crack or whatever have you, but that came out rather nice. We've got a very nice shine, no wrinkling or cracking. This came out really, really nice. I'm happy with that. This is the Chroma. Let me see. Absolute Blue Transparent. Here we go. Absolute Blue Transparent. Okay, there we go. And here we go. 2K clear. That came out real nice. This doesn't look like a candy to me, though. They're saying this is transparent. This does not look candy to me at all, but the overall finish is really very nice. Okay, let's compare. Here's to me a candy. Here's the Chroma. All right, you know, this looks candy to me. I don't know if this is really translating on camera, but here in front of me, I can tell that that's candy. Let's see. This is Turbo Dork. All right. Now I'm going to show you something interesting on this. Both of these were shot with the 2K, the ammo by MiG 2K. But the thing that I found interesting on this was this paint was thinned with Createx 4011. In fact, let me turn this spoon around. There you go. Createx 4011. Can you see the little 4011 designation right there? All right. And then this was shot, this one was shot with Turbo Dork's thinning medium, right? Now, to me, all right, just my opinion, but I think the 4011 thinning medium, this one, came out much nicer. This is, you know, much darker and almost like a brown color. I'm not really loving that color or that finish. I think it came out much nicer with the Createx 4011. Okay, so, and just to refresh your memory, this is the Vallejo. Okay, I think I showed you this in the beginning of the video. This was, let me see, medium yellow. Okay. And by the way, and I don't know if I mentioned this or not, Vallejo has a lot of paints. You want to pick a paint that says air on it. Okay. You've got model air and you've got game air. You want to pick a Vallejo paint that says air on it. If you pick up one of their other paints and it does not say air, okay, see, this doesn't say air on it. And these get a little bit sketchy shooting it through the airbrush, even if you thin it down. But anyway, there you go. The ammo by MiG 2K on the Vallejo, that came out really nice. Okay, so what we've learned from this is two things, because I've had a lot of people ask me, can you get a shine on acrylic paints? And clearly we have achieved that. And the second thing that we learned is that we can stray with the fussy paints like Vallejo and Createx, that don't usually like to go outside of their own product line. And we discovered that we, in fact, can use, at least regarding 2K Clear, something that is outside of their product line. It came out really very nice. Okay, the other thing that I said I wanted to do is I wanted to test, where is it? It's, oh, here we go. Okay, I wanted to test the Pro Scale with the 2K Clear, right? So this is Pro Scale Atomic Orange, and this is Pro Scale Oldsmobile Engine Blue, all right? And here we go. There's those two. And I shot those with the ammo by MIG 2K Clear. Look at that. Isn't that great? Came out wonderful. All right, here's the 2K Clear that Pro Scale recommends, and this works very well. I'm not, stepping on Pro Scale's 2K at all. This works very nicely. But again, as I mentioned, I was curious to see if it would work with the ammo by MIG 2K Clear. And in my opinion, it came out really very nice. Okay, in fact, I just ordered some more Pro Scale paint. It's a fluorescent red that I that I ordered, and I hope I like it because I don't remember the exact figure. I'm sorry, I'm hitting the camera. I don't remember the exact figures, but it was something like I don't know, $40 to get those paints. I ordered like 4 bottles, and yeah, it came out to like $40. But the shipping from the UK, that's where Pro Scale paints come from, is from the UK. The shipping was almost as much as the paint. So I really hope I like this fluorescent red, because between the shipping and the cost of the paint, it's going to be an expensive paint job. I want to try this one day. I should have tested this. This is Pro Scale Candy Ruby. And honestly, I would have tested this, but I didn't. I forgot I had it and I didn't see it, so we'll get to that one day. All right, guys, listen, this video has run way over, so I am going to wrap things up here. And as I have mentioned to you before, if you want a shop card, let me know. There's my email. What is this? Oh, those are decals. Okay. You want decals? There is my, I keep hitting this camera mount. I really apologize about that. Anyway, here's my email address. If you want a shop card, there you go. That's my shop card, Papa's Model Workshop. Please subscribe. Please, please, please subscribe. It really helps me. It helps my channel. It doesn't take any effort. It takes 1 second to hit that subscribe button. Costs you nothing. There's no obligation. You don't get bombarded with anything. It just helps the channel. That's all. So please subscribe. Okay, so that's going to wrap things up for today. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful. And yeah, acrylics can be shot with 2K. Looks great. All right. Thanks a lot for watching.